And this man goes country to country convincing people that he is God. Put a finger down if you accidentally joined the cult. Just me? Okay. I'm gonna tell you about the time I accidentally joined a cult. And I'm not playing.
So
It goes back to the time. It goes back to 2023. I was scrolling on Eventbrite looking for some spiritual events. That was clearly my first mistake. And honestly, I was just trying to experience different religions, different beliefs, you feel me? Like, I don't really know what I was looking for, but I just want to try something new. Okay, cool. So I go on Eventbrite. I find this event. It's called Why Do I Need a Spiritual Teacher? ECK, Light and Sound Service. And the creator of the event is called Spiritual Adventures of Peel. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just like a group discussion about why we possibly need like a preacher or a pastor or any of those things. You feel me? And then here's what the description says. Come join our ECK Light and Sound Service and hear about others' adventures of walking a spiritual path on their road home to God, as well as original creative arts. You will have the opportunity to experience a simple spiritual exercise that can open your heart to live to your fullest potential. So I'm thinking, okay, it's giving group discussion. People are going to be talking about their spiritual experiences. And in regards to the spiritual exercise, I'm thinking, okay, we might get into some yoga, like woo woo woo. So I pull up, it's in all the way in Mississauga. I pull up and it's in this community center, like in just a small room in this big community center. And I walk in and I see some African people, some Nigerians, their cultural cloth. I think they call it a kente. Ghanaians call it kente cloth. I don't know. And then I'm seeing some white people, I'm seeing some Asians. And I'm also seeing a picture of a man on the table. More on that later. So I'm sitting here and there's different people from the crowd going on stage, which it was just a room, there was no stage, but going in front of the crowd to explain their spiritual experiences. And then I started to notice a pattern. The pattern was all of their spiritual experiences connected to a man. And it wasn't like a Jesus or like a Muhammad or like a Buddha or something, like, you know, like it wasn't any of those. But the more they talked about this man, like, see how people are like, yeah, like I was praying and I was speaking to God and like God said blah blah blah. And it's like you're obviously not hearing anything, you're like feeling or like you're getting like messages kind of, but it's not like hearing like you're having a discussion with a human being. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe their God just has like a different name, something like that. I don't know. I'm still trying to understand what's going on. And everybody is talking about God like he's still alive, like he's a human being, like he's like flesh, bones, and blood. You feel me? They're saying things like, yes, like he changed my life. Ever since I found him, ever since I met him, things have been so different. One thing that I noticed that was similar between everyone's testimonies was that they all said they were in a really bad place, in a really depressive space, in a really sad, rough time. And this man brought them to the light. This man changed their life. This man said a few words and their perspective changed. And this man invited them to this circle to be a part of them. And they kept making it sound like it was a family. You know, like Christians, they have like, you know, Pentecostal, they have 7-Day Adventists, I think it is. They have like different, you know, things like that. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this group's way of saying like Pentecostal or whatever is them using the term family. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, cool. I forget the word they used, but they said that we all should stand up and join. I think they called it a hymn. And I was kind of a little sketched out because I'm like, okay, I feel like you're talking about God, Allah, universe, source, like, you know, but just in your own terms. But it sounds like you're talking about a human being that you actually met, so I don't really know. And they told us to stand up to sing this song or like to sing this vibration that would mean that we're worshiping their God, you know? So I do stand up because I'm not about to be rude. And they're all making this noise. Maybe I'll place like a clip. Giving yoga, it wasn't giving that type of vibration. When everybody is making that sound, it sounds like a vibration, and it really wasn't giving yoga or anything like that. It was giving something new, and I'm like, hey, this is new. I'm not trying to be judgmental. Going back to when I saw a picture of a man on the table, when they were wrapping it up, one person came up to give their testimony, and they really described their encounter with God as I met him at a coffee shop and blah 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 blah, something like that. And I was like, wait, this is starting to sound like a human being. In between each testimony, people were like saying like praise him, worship him, using idolatry, idolatrous, just like things you would say about God, like I praise God, I worship God. They were saying that about a human being man living and breathing. And I said, oh, okay. Mind you, going back to when I saw the man on the table, I was thinking that that was someone that was part of their group that just passed on, and maybe this was like a service to remember him by, or someone was gonna say like a few nice words. Come to find out, by the end of this sermon ceremony, the God that they were worshiping was the man who's on the table, who's still currently alive. And this man goes country to country convincing people that he is God. But the way that he describes it is like, follow the path, follow the light, vibrations, like very like new age spirituality terms. But in the end of the day, they're worshiping him. He makes it sound like, yes, you have the power, you control your karma, you control all these things, but somehow they end up worshiping him. Somehow they end up praising him. Somehow they all start thinking that he is God. It doesn't make sense. Like when you research cults and like how cults recruit people, their best target are people who have no one, people who are in a really low mental state, people who are desperate for like a solution, just people who are not in like the best headspace, but in a very low, very rock bottom kind of vibe. And they make them feel so welcome. They shower them in niceness. And then they have their clan and it makes them feel like they're a family. But then they take your mind so much that they make you believe that this human being standing right in front of you is God. I'm like, there is no way. Picture of this man. There is no way that this man is living and breathing currently right now and he's God. You believe he created you? Do we really? And like, I don't want to be rude. Like, anybody here practices ekism, please don't come for me. But I just find it very interesting that everybody in here is talking about how this man changed my life and this and this and that. He showed me what a real family is. And then you're saying things like, I worship him. We praise you. You are our God. Whoa! And I'm like, okay, if he's God, why is he still alive? Like, I don't understand how you can physically meet a human being and then just believe they're God. Do you really mean to tell me
that this man is God? God, the Almighty,
the creator of the heavens and earth, who was born after the heavens and earth were made, who's still alive and breathing. Baby, I don't know. So let's look into Ek. What is Ek? What is it? Eckankar, often referred to as Ek, is a new religious movement founded in 1965 by Paul Twitchell in the United States. While its followers known as Ekists describe it as a path of spiritual freedom and a teaching, it has frequently been described by critics, scholars, and former members as a cult or a new religious movement with cult-like characteristics. Oh, see, they're talking about the sound. They said ooh, I don't even want to say because I don't know what that means. Ekists chant ooh, pronounced like Q, as a meditation technique to connect with the divine, which is viewed as a love song to God. And look at this hierarchical structure. A rigid structure exists with a living God, the Mahatma, at the top, which critics argue allows for undue authority. So when I was previously doing my research, this man is apparently a descendant, maybe like the great-great-grandson or grandson of the Paul Twitchell man. And I just feel like, how can God be like passed down? Like, how can like this Paul Twitchell created Eckankar, and then the next God after is like his son? I just don't understand that, and I don't understand how people can believe that God is living and breathing and walking and bleeding and boning and skinning like us. And I really don't want to be disrespectful. Like, if this is what you believe in, go off, go ham, go crazy.
Isaac, shut the hell up! Damn!
But me personally, this was very cult-like. Even the way everyone was treating me, I'm like, hold up! You are not going to get to me. Everyone's overly nice. When are we gonna see you again? They're calling my phone after. They're ringing down my line. Hey, it was so nice to meet you. We'd love to have you there. When are you gonna come to the next one? We have another one next week. I had to block their number. I'm sorry. Calls, texts. This is all on my old phone, 2 phones ago, so I don't even have those receipts. But I remember they were calling me. They were texting me. They kept asking me when I'm coming. One of them was sending me WhatsApp messages with a bunch of who sounds, and like, I'm like, okay, listen guys, you're not seeing me again. Oh God, get that shite. Yeah, I just felt like when I went there, everybody was overly nice. Like, obviously, like, I'm a new person, you're gonna welcome me, like, hey, welcome, you know, how are you? But I just felt like they were really trying to get me to like, hey, so what'd you think of the sermon? Like, don't you think it's great? Like, you're coming next week, right? And there was so much coming next week, you're coming next week. Why do y'all want me to come next week so bad? You are not catching me. But I want to research like a bad review of Ekism.
What you over here being messy for?
So I'm on Reddit right now, and there's someone who says they grew up in the Eckankar cult because their mother was part of the Eckankar cult. His mother actually left the cult after realizing that half the religion was basically plagiarism from Scientology and Buddhist and Midwestern beliefs. Some other Reddit members are saying that there can only be one living master, and the living master is the guy that I showed you earlier. His name is, I'll put a picture again, his name is Sir Harold. Apparently, you can learn for free about Eckankar by going to their like Hue sessions, which is where they, for 20 minutes, just breathe in deeply and then say Hue for as long as they can. But if you want to learn more, you have to join a membership and pay a subscription fee to learn more about the Eckankar traditions. What? Yeah, there's not too much on Reddit. It's just everyone saying that it's a cult and that there's one living master. The only living master can be men. Heebie-jeebies, heebie-jeebies. That was how I accidentally joined the cult. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram. It's gonna popping over there. Popping over there. Popping over there. Popping over there. Sorry. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Isaac, shut the hell up! Damn!